Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to my page, y'all. Welcome to the replay. Guess what, y'all? We only have a few more hours to grab it. This super cute little ho 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 Santa with our diamond dust that we added. So comment Sunday and I will send you the link to purchase this. It is only $10 and that includes shipping. Isn't he so cute? He's been super popular for us this week. He's very cute. So say hey whenever you get here. Comment the word Sunday. That will allow my page to send you a message so that you can get the link to shop that cutout of the week. Okay, so our cutout of the week runs from Monday to Sunday. And today's Sunday, right? November 17th, which means it's almost done. So hey friends, Zach is fixing my technology. Sorry if he messes with the screen. And today I've been painting, getting caught up on some things. Hi Erin and Debbie. Got a lot to do, y'all, before we leave town. So I am going to share this over into the broadcast channel. I just notified them. Down below is a pinned comment, and it will have a link so that you can join our broadcast channel. It is free to join in your area if it allows. It's just a way for me to notify y'all whenever I go live and any other special things that we do. Okay. So I have a new green we're going to use today. It's called Foliage Green. To me, it is very similar to, well, maybe not. It's a little bit darker than Sour Apple. But we have a new cutout and it's Santa in pajamas. So we're going to paint this guy up and get started. I got my foil sheet here. What's up, everybody? Tomorrow is Mini Sale Monday. Yes, it is November 17th, Mini Sale Monday. Be there. Don't miss out. All right, let's start with this new green color I got. I used it earlier this morning, and it is very, very pretty. Hi, friends. What's going on? What's going on, my people? All right, let me see if this is what, yeah, I want to use this. Foliage green. Foliage, what does that mean? It's greenery, right? I don't know. Whatever. So we're going to paint his shirt and his pants. Or I guess it's his little shorts. I don't know. But this is an ornament, y'all, and it's Santa. And he's in pajamas. I cannot wait to finish this. I think you guys are going to love it. Zach cut this for me the other day. And I was like, let's do it. Hi, friends. How have y'all been? Feels like it's been forever. Zach went live with y'all on Friday, created this big old monster project. And then yesterday, I was at my mom's craft fair. And then I came home and painted. I had a painting marathon. No joke. Yes, Kathy. Hi, Adeline. Her craft fair was okay. There was less traffic this year than last year. But she sold a lot of ornaments and interchangeables. The shelf sitters, not so much, but the interchangeables, like people were buying like full sets, like a base and 12 inserts. So that was a plus. She also sold a lot of her light up items. That have like the fairy lights on them. But it was good. I mean, it was a good craft show. It's always a lot of work, right? So I went Friday and I helped her get everything set up. And then my sister helped her take things down yesterday so that I could come home and get caught up on some things here. 'Cause Lord knows, y'all, I'm very busy. So that is the fall foliage color. You have the same thing, ornaments and interchangeables. Interesting. Did you offer shelf sitters, Kathy? Hi, Ruth. Thank you. Okay. I want to dry this, see if I need another coat. This is a lighter green. And I do like it. I used it on some elf stuff earlier this morning that I painted, and it was actually a really good color. All right, I think that's good. So 2 coats of that should do the trick. So let's put this away. We're going to put our stuff back into the bottle. All of our excess here. I'll throw that away. I do not clean my sponges. I ain't got time for that. Hi, Luann. Okay, Tracy, great. Hi, Heather. Okay, next step is what? We need to paint his little hands. We're going to do those in warm beige. Hi, Darlene. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to grab a really small paintbrush. Grab my stuff over here. I need it closer. Y'all, I have washed these paintbrushes 90 different times in the last 24 hours, I feel. Does it help to paint white? You know, Michelle, it does. I've done it before, but sometimes I think it looks funny. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it takes more coats whenever I do white base, like a white base coat, than it would if I didn't. I don't know. I think it just depends on the green. Now, I will tell you, I have a color that's, I think it's New Leaf is the color from Deco Art. I think that's it. That one does not need many coats. I don't know what it is about it, but it does not. All right, we're going to go and paint his little face here. Now this, I'm just going to paint in all over, and then we'll do his eyebrows just right on top. But this has a little section so that you know where to paint, and it's okay if you go outside the lines because it's going to be covered with other items. So you can get messy. You do not have to have a steady hand. All right, let me dry that. Debbie, I saw your message. I'll get back. Tomorrow morning is going to be like my admin day where I get caught up on things. I'm trying to slam in so many things before we leave on Friday to go to the Chiefs game. Hi, Deb. Hello, Miss Cottage Caboodle. Elizabeth, how are you, friend? I miss you. Y'all, my friend here, Cottage Caboodle, she's in my mastermind. Y'all go give her a follow. She hand paints the most amazing things. And I'll tell you what, Elizabeth, I was scrolling Facebook this morning and I was just scrolling and I saw this picture and I was like, that looks like Elizabeth. And I went to see whose page it was. And sure enough, it was yours. Like you have your own style and it's just nothing like I've ever seen. Hello, Miss Darlene. All right, let's do another coat of warm beige. Just so that we give his little face a good coat. Good finish, good, I don't know, whatever I'm trying to say. Okay, his hands are fine. We have to do his nose. His nose is not separate from his mustache, so I'm just going to use this little bitty brush. Paint it, okay? Have you ever used a new pen? Yes, I have. I have used it a couple of times, actually. And the problem with that one, Misty, is that I don't know if it's coming from way overseas or what, but the shipping is outrageous on it. So I found a new brand that's very similar and it should be delivered tomorrow. So I'm going to test it and then I'll introduce it to y'all. Hi, Candy. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Miss Deb, Santa is in pajamas for our new cutout. It's going to be so cute. And he has little slippers. Have you ever seen Santa in slippers? It's going to be precious. Precious. Okay, let me grab the white Okay, so white, white, white. That's red. Okay, awesome. Welcome, Miss Candy. Comment the word Sunday, and I will send you a message. And in that message will be the link to get our cutout of the week for this week. It ends at midnight tonight. It's only $10 shipped. It comes blank, so you can paint it however you want and add any embellishments, any texture to it that you would like. If you like to do DIY stuff, that's what we do here. And then tomorrow, y'all, mini sale Monday. I've got some really, really good bundles I'm excited about. They're all prepped, ready to go. I'm so proud of myself. You know, some weeks I have things ready to go days in advance, and some weeks I'm prepping them the day of the sale. But man, it feels so good to have them prepped ahead of time. You can imagine. Hi, Anita. Oh, good. Hi, Teresa. I recorded my order of napkins in the little grab bag of Christmas pieces. Oh, good. Oh, you reordered? You recorded. Hi, Cheryl. You received. I got you. I got you. I have two sneak peeks back here. I'll show you guys. For tomorrow's sale. One of them I already showed y'all. If you caught my short video I posted a little bit ago on my page. Hello, Jessica. I got you, Michelle. Received. All right, so I just like to use these little foam sticks whenever I just have individual pieces that need painting or painted. I need to do this white, but I'm going to use a paintbrush. Bear 16 and leading. Yeah. Thanks, Jeannie. Yep, I was watching the game earlier. And then the Chiefs play this afternoon. And then we leave Friday to head to Kansas City because we are attending the Chiefs game on Sunday. I'm excited. Hopefully it's not going to be too cold. What on earth is that? All right, so I like to use these itty bitty tiny paintbrushes for little pieces that may bump up against another color, like I did his nose. I just feel like I have a little bit more control with the smaller ones. I would not recommend using like a foam stick next to the nose because you might get it white. If you don't care, you do you. Okay. All right, let's add some red to his hat. Hi, Kareen. The snowman. Yes, Miss Teresa. Jen got her cut of the week delivered yesterday, but mine is still traveling. Oh, Miss Deb, what in the world? Let me see. I cut some of my little sponges down this morning. Instead of always using the foam stick, because sometimes I don't need a whole bunch, or I don't need to use a foam stick. I just need a little piece of something, especially for little guys like this. So this is his hat, and he's got slippers, as I mentioned. Now we are going to have to paint in his nose with the red with a small paintbrush. Then I'm going to use dark chocolate. Hi, Julie. And we're going to do the antlers for his slippers because the slippers are reindeer. Look. Okay, so let's use one of these. I know, Miss Judy. How are you, Miss Judy? Oh, Lord, I got a lot of paint, y'all. I dipped this way in the lid. Like, way. It's fine. It's going to be okay. All right, there's that. And then we're going to go in and do our reindeer. Let me see. And the teddy bear. I think I'm going to use honey brown. Normally for reindeer, I do sable brown, but I'll do something different. Upper 50s. Okay. Hi, Terry Ann. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, we've got some sweatshirts, as you can imagine. Some hoodies. We're going to layer it up. It is a noon game, so hopefully it won't be awful. Okay, so there's that. That's painted. Now, I am going to go back and do a little bit more on his mustache. Just because typically with white, I always have to do 2 to 3 coats. I don't know. That's just the way it rolls. I don't really have a trick to not do 2 coats. Hello, Miss Jessica. Yes, thank you so much. Welcome to my page, girl. We have a lot of amazing friends on here. Yes, I'm going to do the noses, Miss Deb. You betcha. Okay, so we're probably going to do another coat of the honey brown here for the reindeers and the teddy bear. Teddy bears, they're slippers. Okay, so we're done with that. We're done with the white. We're going to do another coat of red like this. That is brown. Where's my red? And I just, again, just took makeup sponges and just cut them up. This is Tuscan red, Deco Art. Love Tuscan red. It's my fave. And then let's check out the, oh yeah, the antlers. They need just a little bit more love, but that's way too much. Browns are awful. I say awful. They just need lots of love and multiple coats. I think Monday, Katie. All right, let me see. Okay, I'm going to save my little sponge. It's going to go in there. I think we're done painting. No, we're not. We're going to do the red. Red nose. Just kidding. I lied. I lied. All right, so I'm going to find, hold on one second, a really small brush. No, we're going to do this. We're going to take our red. Hi, Tina. Okay, I'm going to take the lid off of this, and I'm going to grab one of my little, I used to use these on my nails, y'all. What do we call these? Little tools. And I'm just going to fill in the nose with this. Makes it a lot easier versus trying to control the bristles of a paintbrush. Flip it around. And just fill it all in. Make sure y'all comment the word Sunday. Go grab the cutout of the week that we currently are offering. And then this one will release tomorrow morning, right here on this page. Oh my gosh, that's precious. It's very cute. Very, very cute. Okay, now. I'm going to do the same thing, I think, to the nose of the bear. And I'm just going to do warm beige since I have it here. We're just going to do the bigger circle. And then I'll just take a marker, I think, and do this inner circle. Yes. All right, now we have the eyes. And his eyebrows. Let's do the eyebrows in white. Hello, Michelle. All right, this one I'm going to use the smaller side of my little tool here. And just drag the paint inside the eyebrow. Versus using a brush. And you know what? We'll just use marker for the eyeballs. So I have a marker. I'm going to do the same thing for the little bear. And give him some eyes. And then we'll do the same thing for Santa. We're going to give him some cheeks. And then I'm going to take a yellow marker and fill in the buttons on his shirt. Y'all, this is precious. I have a dryer. Why am I doing that? Hi, Janet. Okay, let me dry this. And then we're going to do a black nose. For the bear. Okay, so here's the deal. The last 2 days I've been painting and I have switched up the color I've been using for blush. Victorian Velvet is what I have been using. And I take this itty bitty like blending brush and I just form a circle with it. Okay, it's upside down. To do the cheeks. I don't know if you can see that, but you can do as big, as little as you like. There he is. He's pretty cute, huh? All right, let's pull all of this off. Let me give the tip of his nose a little bit of pink. Oh, this is so cute. I need to dot his eyes. So this is the pen that Dee was referring to. It's called a long needle pen. Okay. But I've been using this for tiny score marks and etching. And I just use it for the eyes of the reindeer. All right, let's pull this all off. And we're done with this. Hi, Louise. Hey, Tracy. Okay, y'all want to see something? So speaking of light up, I was talking about earlier how I helped with my mom's craft fair yesterday. And a lot of people love the light up stuff. So tomorrow and mini sale Monday, we're going to have 2 options. One of them, and I've got to finish it, is going to be this little fella here that has lights. It is a gingerbread ornament. And it says gingerbread kisses and peppermint wishes. And you will get the fairy lights with it. And I have another one that I've painted and I've got to put together because I'm going to do an overhead video to include like a QR code with the ornament when you purchase it tomorrow. on my live sale, so you guys know how to put the fairy lights together, and you are going to need glue dots. So, isn't that cute? That's one sneak peek. It's really cute, and it's thick, but it's not heavy. Isn't that cute? Imagine that in your tree. So that will be available tomorrow. Mini sale Monday. 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific. So just set your alarm. November 17th. And right now what I'm doing is I'm taking a marker and I'm going around the edges of my cutouts and just cleaning them up in case, you know, I got a little heavy-handed on the paint and it went off the side. That is what we do around here. Okay. Betsy, I got it on Amazon, but the problem is that pack that I got, like I went this morning and I sent the link to my mom. The shipping was like $17. And I'm like, oh no, that's coming from like Timbuktu. So I found a different brand just like it. And I'm testing it. And then I will introduce it to you. But you can go, I mean, you go look if you want. It's just called Long. Well, this one says Long Nib Marker. N-I-B. Long Nib Marker. But there's a lot out there. And I got a pack that has white, blue, red, black. I think that was it. They're like dual tip. So like one side is black, one side is red. So I want to test out the new brand first. But you can certainly go look for them. You can use a Sharpie, Anita. I like these because they're smaller. I have more control versus a Sharpie, but Sharpies, I guess, have a pointed end, right? But this is the Overseas brand. I've been using these for several months, and I love them. All right, what have I not done? We have the antlers to the slippers. Yes, I said slippers because Santa is going to wear slippers today. And he is so stinking cute. He brings me lots of joy. Candy, the live sale is tomorrow night, November 17th, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. So 7 p.m. Central. And then you can do the math with your time zones. Okay, here's another sneak peek. Look what I did yesterday. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Okay. This is the quilted snowman, and this is going to be part of my live sale tomorrow night. All of them are wood blanks, right? But I also have bundles and stuff and kits. This I put on a board and I pieced, like I put all the green together and painted those, all the red together, painted those. Then I just simply, for the red dots, I took and used a marker, but everything else that you see, the dots, the lines, the diagonals, I just took a little paintbrush. So like, they're not perfectly diagonal, but I don't care. And then I use my kitchen sponge technique on the background. So this will be part of our arch interchangeable insert, but this will be available tomorrow. And I think this is probably my favorite insert ever for the arch. I use both, Barb. I use both Mr. Pen and the Overseas brand. Depending on, so like, for example, when I was doing this yesterday, I used the big Mr. Pen marker, the chisel point, on this surface. Okay. Any like long, flat, or even curved surface, I use Mr. Pen. But like these little bitty tiny pieces, like going around the bear's ears, this fat chisel isn't going to get into that little nook and cranny next to his ears. So that is where I pull out my Overseas marker. So anytime I'm painting and cleaning up my edges, I always have these two at my hands or on hand. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Good, Cheryl. I'm so glad you're feeling better. Okay, now is the fun part. This is where, this to me is what takes the longest for me. I don't need blue. I like to distress all of my cutouts. So I've got green, black soot, vintage photo, white, and I even grabbed some gray because I thought we might do some on his beard. This is hickory smoke. So I thought maybe, I don't know if this is going to show up, but I'm just going to kind of like make little, what do you call those? Half circles? Y'all know what that is, right? Little half circles all throughout the beard. Just to kind of like make it not white. I know you probably can't see that, but y'all go with me, okay? Okay. Then what I like to do, typically on most of my Santas, is I like to do black around the red hat. And these right here are just finger daubers. And I need a new black one. That one's like falling apart. It's causing me all sorts of issues. Okay, so there's that one. Then I also like to lightly go around the beard. Any of Santa's beard, mustache, even the brim of his hat. This piece. Okay. Overseas acrylic markers, dual tip. Yes, Anita. There's a brush tip and a dual tip. Okay, there's that. And then we've got this mustache, or the only mustache. Let me rephrase that. And let me see if I can even get this gray enough to show up. I think we're good. Okay, and then here's going to be the ball of the hat. I like to go around in black as well. Green, green, green. We have that. Okay, so we're done with black soot. The brown vintage photo, I'm going to add a little bit to the slippers. All over and in between, and then the bear, just to give it some dimension. I just like doing this. You guys certainly don't have to do this. Just a personal preference. Okay. Then we're going to take white. Where's my white? This is awful. That's going in the trash too. Let's grab a new white. You know what? I made a new white earlier. I don't know where it is. Whatever. Okay. And I'm going to barely touch this. Hi, Sharon. I'm going to go along the tips of the antlers in white. And then we're going to do his shirt. But we're going to do a shirt in green. Okay. But first, so another thing, Miss Ruth got me this. This, I haven't looked for these on Amazon yet, but it's a very, very, very sharp pointed thing. Like you could use, I used to use like push pins, like that. But I want to clean out those score lines just so that you can see them a little bit better. Now, let's be honest. Sometimes I get to going and it like goes off track and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have a line across the shirt. I'm gonna poke myself in the eye with that. Don't do that at home. But you just repaint that area and you'll be fine. I know it's kind of a bummer, but I've been doing this lately and I just think it just adds more to your project because it's not clogged with paint. Cool? Cool. And again, you don't have to do all this, friends. This is just what I like to do. Okay? Oh, perfect. Thanks, Barbara. There you go. So these little things you can find at Dollar Tree. I don't know what section, maybe the craft section. All right, now I'm going to take pine needles. That is the color. And I am going to add some dark green around his pajamas. And y'all, this is awesome. Look at this. I don't know if you can see the color. I don't know what the tool is called. Did Zach use them last? Yeah. I think this just adds so much cuteness. And I'm going to just take my dauber and tip it on its side and go along his, like the bottom of his shirt and where the buttons are. All right. Same thing for his sleeves. And then I'm going to darken up where his like little cuff is. I guess that's called a cuff by his little hand. Okay. Then next step, let me darken this just a little bit more. We have to add, I'm going to add like a pattern to his shirt. Okay. You know what? Here we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take the white overseas marker. And I am going to let me think about this. For his, no. We're going to, well, let me glue this all together first. I got to figure this out first. Okay, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. Here's what I've learned, especially when I did this yesterday. Like I would glue a piece right here and then glue a piece right here and then try to fit this piece in and it wouldn't fit. So rule of thumb, in my opinion, is either start from the top and work your way down in case there's a slight, like your cutout shifted with the glue, because Stick Fast is known to do that, because that is what I use, the Stick Fast Thick. Okay. So like I had to, on one of these pieces, grab my little thing here and like pry it off. Okay. It didn't ruin anything. But we're going to work bottom to top. Okay. Hi, Sally. So here we go. We're just going to line up his little slippers. And I'm setting him up like this so I can make sure that it's flat. Okay. Then his little pants should go right there for his little outfit, his PJs. Hi, Vetril. Okay, like so. And then ideally everything should line up, right? Then we're going to place his beard, because his beard is basically going to interlock right there. Like that. I am going to take my white marker and give him 3 little dots on his cheek. Okay. Then on top of that is going to be his nose and mustache. So that is going to go right there. And it will line up like that. Okay. Then I'm going to hop over here and I'm going to, let me think about this. No, we're going to glue his hat first. So hat is going to go down because it all like interlocks together. And look how cute he's turning out. Oh my gosh. Y'all look. Okay. Then see how this piece has like a hole? That's where the bottom of his hat is. So that is going to interlock as well. Press and hold. Okay, I'm not going to glue his little ball to his hat yet because we're going to give his PJs a pattern. We can go ahead and glue his brim on. That's just going to go right here. Line it up. Then press and hold. Okay. Hey, Dawn. Hope you're well. Okay. Then we've got his antlers and we've got his teddy bear that we'll add once let's do the pattern on this first. Okay. Now, I am probably going to use a Posca marker for this piece. Let me think about this. Do I want to glue? No, we'll do the pattern first. Okay. So all we're going to do is we're just going to create little V marks, little V symbols. And I know some of this, y'all, is going to be covered. Totally fine. I'd rather get the base of it down first. And then we'll go in and add the other pieces. Look at that. Okay, we are going to do just a few down here, even though there's going to be antlers. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and glue his arm. Now you can do polka dots. You don't have to do anything. I just wanted to add a kind of a pattern. Okay, and now we're going to do that arm. I know, Miss Deb, and this is really easy to paint, as you can see. Again, what takes the longest is all the extras that you know, because I'm extra. All right, now we're going to do the little nose. We're going to do some little dots here on his sleeve. I'm going to come up here and add just a couple things to his hat. Okay, and then I'm going to add like a little swoosh over his nose. And then I'm going to take the overseas marker, the brush tip, because it is smaller than my Posca, and I'm going to give him a dot in the black of his eye. Look at his eyes. Hello, Miss Dawn. So comment Sunday, because right now you can get this guy. We painted him last week. He's only $10. This will be available tomorrow. Okay, now we need to put the lid on this. And we're gonna glue the little teddy bear. OMG. Look at this. Look at this little guy. He's so cute. Look, he's holding his teddy bear. Okay. Now let's add just a little bit here and there to the teddy bear. I rhymed. Now we can go in and glue the ball of his hat right there. Thanks, Anita. I think he's pretty cute. I just added a something to the teddy bear's nose. Now we're gonna do the antlers. All right, so now these are gonna go kind of, I don't know, kind of at a diagonal almost. Not quite. I'll show you here in a minute. They're not straight up and down, basically. Oh my gosh, y'all. Look how cute this is. Look at him. I use Stick Fast. Stick Fast. Y'all, look at the slippers. I know it's blurry sometimes, y'all, but okay, now we have to add some twine. I feel like he needs a bead, but I don't know which one. That'll work. Oh, look at this one. This one has a swirly, curly Q thing. Do I like that? Okay, we're just going to stick to one bead. Hi, Missy. Okay, let me grab the twine. They didn't. Wow. It's not very nice. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to cut a piece of twine. I'm going to fold it in half. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is take it through the center and pull the tails up through that. Whenever you do that, it's going to allow your ornament to stay straight. Okay. If you are not doing that and you just thread it one time, most of the time, depending on how you tie it on your tree, you may see it sideways, you may see it backwards, and it may be facing the wrong way. Okay, so I like to thread mine double so that it stays facing forward. He is so cute. Deb, one of each color. My friend Deb Lee here, she's extra. She's the googly eye queen. All right, let's thread this through the bead. And look, we ended up with only one of the tails. So we might have to get out our little bead threader, which is totally fine. Because that one doesn't like us. So I'm going to put this right here. And I'm just going to pull the string through. And then I'm going to slide the bead on. I think Deb might be right, though. I think we might need another color. But I want to stick with... Hold on. I didn't see... Yeah, that green's off. Okay, hold on. Where is it? Of course, it's going to be all the way at the bottom of the bag. I really don't want to take these out. There we go. Red polka dot. Where can you get the beads? I don't know where those came from. They came from Amazon, maybe? Tomorrow, for the sale, I have some really cute kits that include a cutout, some beads, and a tassel. It's not a bead bundle, but it's really cute. Okay, I wanted to make sure that went on right. I didn't want my white one to go on first. Looky there. Precious. He's so cute. He's pretty cute. I'm just looking at my ribbon. So now I just tie it off. So make sure those beads don't move. And then I'll tie a knot in the top. What is this? Oh, yeah. And then you have an ornament. You have a Santa in pajamas. The slippers just sold me, y'all. Look at this. Look how stinking cute he is. He's ready for bed. Yellow buttons and all. I love this so much. This will be available tomorrow, November 17th, all week long. That is darn precious. Look, Darcy. So comment the word Sunday because you have until midnight to grab this one. And this one's going to go away forever. This is only $10 shipped. Okay. Then this one will be available tomorrow. Which one's your favorite? I think it's precious. So let me know, y'all. Go grab your Ho 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 Santa. Show up tomorrow for Mini Sale Monday. We have new things, lighted ornaments, and we'll have a new arch insert along with lots of other things. I'm excited. So I'll see y'all next time, okay? Bye, y'all. Have a good day.